Hey, welcome everybody to Sawdust Talk. I'm TJ. I'm filling in for Kyle tonight. And, yeah, oh, hey, look, there's a big piece of PVC back there. I might move that. Hey, there he is. Okay, we've got a handful of people who are all going to start piling in. We've got Drew with DK Custom Woodworks. Cool kids that are going to be here. Braden's going to be here. Kamani will be piling in here in a minute. Hey, what is up, amigo? Hey, look at these two. All right, we're going to get Kamani in here in a second. And this very large and distracting piece of PVC that's coming out of my ear needs to get moved. And then we'll be in good shape. Let's see if Kamani's in here. Not just yet. I'm sure he'll be here in a second. Let me just say, this is my shop vacuum. For those of you who are playing along, it's real fancy. It's got duct tape on it to make sure that it's good.
Extended barrel.
Look, if you're not vacuuming your shop with 4-inch PVC, when you're using a measly little shop vac, come on.
And I'm not supposed to just blow it in my neighbor's yard?
Yes. Well, see, I shoot it out the back of my house and it goes into my neighbor's backyard. So, yeah, that's
Winning.
Yep. That's how we do it.
But where do you put your dust?
Well, some of it goes into a 55-gallon drum, and then when I fill that 55-gallon drum, I'm slowly trying to fill in most of a ravine in my backyard. And we've got really big squirrel and birds' nests in the trees behind our house because of the abundance of wood shavings. So it's fun. The deer like it, and the squirrels seem to dig on it. So I just throw it back there. I'm lucky. I see some turners that are putting it into like yard waste bags or having to fit it into their wheelie bin along with the rest of their household rubbish at the end of the week. That's a lot. Some of the cool kids will press them into briquettes, right? Or make fire starters with them, get some paraffin and press all that stuff together. But no, I just,
Sounds like a lot of effort.
yeah, that's a lot of work for, instead of just chucking it into the creek. Hey, there he is. Kamani is here. That is awesome. Let's get him in here. And we should be rocking and rolling here in no time. Look, we've got a wooden mustache in the house. Kamani, king of table saw acrobatics. How are you, sir?
Oh, just over here doing backflips.
It was impressive.
I just wish it would have stuck the landing a little better, but, otherwise, it's all good. So I had to move locations.
I got you. All right, well, are you all ready to get this show on the road?
Let's go.
Cool. All right. Well, to the 18 folks that are tuned in so far, 1 or 10. Oh, that's your rating of the backflip? Yeah. Oh, man, and Braden's been rating hard this year. You're fortunate to have gotten a 10 on that.
Oh, man. Appreciate the kindness of the judges of Russia.
All right, so welcome everyone to Sawdust Talk officially for today, Thursday. Who are you people? Where's my horse? It's Wednesday, April 19th. I'm TJ. I'm going to be running the show. I'm with TJT Workshop. I do a fair bit of woodworking. Most of it takes place on a lathe back here, but I do a little bit of metal work, a little bit of 3D printing, just dabble in a whole lot of everything. I'm going to hand the mic over to, I guess, Braden, and then Kimani, and then Drew, if you'd be so kind as to introduce yourself, okay?
Yeah, I'm Braden. I'm a mixed media artist, as long as that media is wood and glue. I use the CNC and whatever else I can find and hope it all works out.
So, and I'm Kimani from Band Stray Designs. I dabble in a little bit of everything from woodworking to laser to CNC and 3D printing and epoxy. So I'm a little bit all over the place, still, learning what I can.
Right.
Drew with DK Custom Woodwork, pretty much traditional woodworker. Use a mix of shop tools as well as hand tools. Pretty happy to get myself behind a plane or a chisel, but I definitely have, your standard shop tools. No CNC. Don't you really do a lot of epoxy unless I'm stabilizing something. It's not my cup of tea. And then I refuse to use CNCs. That's a whole nother conversation, but you guys have fun with Skynet. I'm good.
I don't think it has to be another conversation. I feel like that should be our starting conversation. So
That's definitely going to come back around.
So, while I was diving through your post history, I noticed that you've got a whole lot of craft fair and art show booth picks. Was there a
Oh yeah, I do like 160 markets a year.
geez Louise?
So in Illinois, I do a lot of farmers markets. I'm the woodworker for a lot of farmers markets in the suburbs of Chicago. I do Elmhurst and Plainfield and Naperville, which is larger areas around the south suburbs, kind of like southwest suburbs. But I also do a lot of the higher end craft fairs, and I'm also really plugged into the brewery scene. When I started woodworking years back, started doing it full time, I should say, because I've been a woodworker a long time. When I got back from Iraq many moons ago, my neighbor was a captain. I'll talk about that later. Let me get back to front towards enemy. I met this guy and I started doing a lot of brewery shows, and they're bangers, man. You go there, you're there for 4 or 5 hours, and you do very well. We'll just put it at that, if you know what you're doing. I do this full time for a living. I left the corporate world and law enforcement and all that behind, and I do this now, and this is all I do.
Okay, so because you're located in Bolingbrook, do you agree that the Bolingbrook IKEA is by far one of the most confusing buildings ever made?
Dude, IKEA is purgatory, bro. I don't go there.
Dude, it's terrifying in there. It's the only time I've ever actually felt lost in a place.
So my wife tried to get me to go to the IKEA in San Diego like 15, 20 years ago. And after that debacle, when I got lost in IKEA, and I was like, yeah, I'm telling you what. And I was like, never again. Like, you won't catch me in IKEA. I laugh too, because when I have furniture and I put quotes out and they think I'm too high, I'm like, IKEA's down the road.
Yeah. Good luck in there.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's like it never ends. It's a freaking 5K from one end to the other, one, man.
Narnia, bro.
Yeah.
Could you say that your IKEA experience is maybe what led to you building furniture full time, just so you never had to go back in one?
Not quite, but we'll call it a contributing factor.
So I have a lot of questions are based around your craft fairs.
Okay.
How did you get started with craft fairs? Like, what's kind of your journey?
So like 3 years ago, one of my buddies, a Marine buddy of mine, works at a place called Schnitzelplatz out in Lombard, Illinois. It's like a German restaurant, and they had a Christ Kingo market. And he's like, "Hey, Drew, you want to go sell some of your woodwork? I know you got some." I'm like, "Sure, what the hell?" So I go over there, and dude, I killed it. I was like, that's where I met the guy who does the craft brewery shows, which is Streets Arts Alliance. Awesome in the area. If you guys are anywhere near Illinois, dude, the brewery scene out here is insane. Like, I go there, I sell end-grain cutting boards, cocktail infusers, dugouts, you name it. I'm slanging them. You know what I mean? And then was working for an architecture and engineering firm after I left law enforcement, and that didn't work out. So like right as I was kind of transitioning out of that and I was looking for employment, I was like, well, why don't I just work for myself? You know what I mean? And I was still looking for a job, but I was concentrating on either getting a job off the ground or finding something I actually wanted to do. And I ended up I ended up just being a full-time woodworker. Just this business exploded on me. I mean, we were, you know, selling a metric butt ton of woodwork every month. It was insane. Like more than I was making in the corporate world. We'll put it like that.
So what's the big sellers? Like, what's the number one thing that you think you sell at these things?
Right now, like it depends on where I'm at, dude. I'll like it I've kind of come to know what I need to go heavy on when I go to certain markets. Like if I'm going to a craft fair, dude, it's weird. It'll be utensils or something like that. If I go to a brewery, it's always the cocktail infuser kits, the dugouts, the end grain cutting boards, stuff like that. You know, bottle opener coasters, whiskey cigar flights. You know, I go to a craft fair. It's like live edge charcuterie and cheese boards and stuff like that. I go to somewhere else. It's weird, man. There's like no rhyme or reason. I've had ones where I sell a bunch of the bullet glasses I sell with my cocktail infuser kits, and I'm like, what just happened? You know what I mean? But it's weird. I'm sure you guys saw my display. There's a lot of products to choose from. I think the biggest thing for me that's made me a success is multiple price points, multiple genres of woodworking. Number one, I turn. I do the like cutting boards, but when it comes to cutting boards, I only do end grain. Yeah, face grain cutting boards are a waste of time. They're trashed in a year, and you can't even charge what you need to for them anyway. End grain, you sell them, you show them how well they work, they sell themselves. And then the whiskey barrel items, which the rustic stuff, or as I like to call it, the half-assery. You know what I mean? So it's one of those conglomerates of like I have multiple different genres of woodworking, and to me that's made me the most successful because I go to these craft fairs all the time, and I'll have competition. That I'll see them. Maybe they have just the live edge charcuterie or just the turning or just the whiskey barrel stuff. But you come to me, I'm veteran-owned woodworking business with all three. You know what I'm saying? And I put out a pretty darn good product. I've been woodworking for quite some time. I got taught by a custom cabinet maker like 15, 16 years ago, the proper way to run a table saw and do that kind of stuff. And one of the big things for me too is the better equipment. I always say tools don't make the craftsman, but sure as heck do they help. And you know, if you guys, I can give you a tour of the shop if you want. I'm heavily into Powermatic and Festool and Lee Nielsen. I'm stupid for Lee Nielsen. I don't know if you guys know what that stuff. I'm sure you do, but I got a slight problem.
Yeah, I when I was perusing your feed, I saw you have a healthy or unhealthy wall of just Festool sustainers. So that I've recently when I first started woodworking, I didn't know what Festool was. I never looked into it. And once I found out how much everything costs, I was like, I'm never going to need a Festool. And here I am. There's a Capex right at my feet right now. So clearly, I'm drinking the green Kool-Aid.
Try the Forest Blade for it yet?
It's the Capex is still in the box.
Dude,
so
the Forest Blade completely changes the game on it.
You said Forest Blade?
Forest makes a 92 Chopmaster blade for it, and it is fantastic.
All right, I'm gonna need you to send me that information after all this.
Yeah, because it's a weird metric blade. I'm sure you figured that out already.
Yeah.
Instead of having a 5/8 arbor, it has a 30 millimeter arbor. But I'm telling you, that blade, that Forest one, I'm a huge Forest fan to begin with, but their blade kicks butt. And I love their customer service. They stand behind their stuff. I've sent a couple blades back and had them rebraze teeth on or sharpen them for me or whatnot. And dude, they'll send me a label. But I'm like, also, I'm like, hey, I got 20 blades. You want to make this right? You know what I'm saying?
So right on. So and then you were saying that the number. I mean, we'll talk more about tools, but you were saying you make a lot of ingrain boards. So how many? I mean, I looked at your feed and I saw that you have like a wall and stacks of just stuff just kind of ready to go. So how many ingrain boards do you think you make within? We'll say within a year.
I don't know, man. I sold like 8 last weekend.
All right.
In 2 days, and the majority. I'm telling you, it's weird, man. The majority of I do a little bit through website sales, a little bit, not much. I don't do Etsy. I had a retail space, it didn't work. It's those shows, man. I'll go and I'll do a couple grand in a weekend. You know what I'm saying? In sales, and it's enough. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to get too far into the woods with the amounts and stupidness, but yeah, I'm sure you can figure out. 8 ingrain boards is they're not cheap.
Yeah.
And that's like the least of what I'm selling too, man. Like those cocktail infuser kits, man. If you guys haven't started, dude, make those. I'm telling you, it is not that hard. And the whiskey barrel, it is huge right now, man.
So I think Braden, are you going to go look for your infuser, Braden?
I was going to say, so I'm doing my first show here in about a month. I've literally spent the last like 2 days just pumping out.
That center hole may be a little too big, brother.
Yeah?
I would.
Which one? This one?
Yeah, man. We can talk later. I found like the perfect 3 set of holes that work for that just, dude, bang it, man.
Yeah.
I'm
open to it. I've got like some metal insert that's coming to fill that. So,
dude, I take freaking chicken wire straight up, man. And it works fantastic.
All right. I'm going to have to talk to you after this.
Yeah, dude. Like, very minimal cost, and they work fantastic. If you hit it with a torch, very minimal patina inside the glass, and within 20 seconds, the entire glass is billowy full, even if it's empty.
That is cool. I wanted to ask you a little bit about your bottle opener kits. I know that those are not cheap. If you're shopping for them at like Woodcraft and stuff, are you doing wholesale?
Yeah, so the bottle opener hardware, even if you go on Amazon or like Alibaba, it's the same thing, and I get them for like $2 a piece.
Yeah, I might have to pat you down for that link, because the other one was
and also
you do Hawksbill ice cream scoop kit, and that one's got the stainless steel ring underneath it.
The Hawk kits are worth every penny. Yeah, they're like $20, but you can make $60 on a scoop, dude. And I sell the living crap out of. My wife makes homemade ice creams, dude, and she'll go and just talk about how much she loves them, dude. Because I get the misses out there every once in a while. Get a pretty blonde chick out there. They sell stuff.
There you go. Yeah, everybody needs a plant, right? But yeah, so are you getting that Hawkbill kit from the major retailers, or have you found a wholesaler for that also?
Woodcraft. I sat down with the owner and local here, and I was like, hey, man, I go, local business. I go, I can't pay retail. I go, but I don't want 1 or 2 at a time. I was like, what are you going to do for me if I buy 10, 20 of these at a time?
And they hooked you up?
Oh, yeah. Just got to talk to them.
Very cool.
I think he usually knocks 20% off.
Nice.
As long as I buy like 20 of them.
All right.
I mean, dude, the best thing is too, it's a way to help you get your costs down, so you can not, I don't want to say make more money, but you can get a little bit lower price, so you can expand your target audience. My original degree before I went in the Marine Corps and went and did cop stuff, and I was 20 years in uniform and all that crap, I was actually a marketing major, man. So like I'm all about like, what is the target audience? How can I reach more of that audience? It's the same stuff, the price, promotion, product distribution stuff from back in the day. But it's like you look at it and you go, how can I make this? There's also a ice cream scoop I use too that is by Crooked Mill, and you can get those distributed through Amazon, and they're like $9 a scoop head, and they're fantastic.
Oh, that's not bad.
They're fantastic. I found those are really good. And then Penkit Mall, that's a veteran-owned company, by the way, as well. I found that out. And
that's cool.
Pizza cutters are better than rocklers, and you can replace the blade on them.
All right. Yeah, we're gonna be sending some messages.
Yeah. So if you buy like, I think it's 20 or more at a time, it drops to like $16 a unit. Because I actually called Rockler corporate office, and I was like, hey man, I go, I want 100 pizza cutters. I go, what you gonna do? And I was like, all I want you to do is give me your sale price of $15.99 or $19.99. I was like, I just want you to give me the sale price now, and I'll buy 100 of them. And they're like, 10%. I was like, eat poop, see you later. Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, I'm like, come on, bro. I'm like, you just lost like a $3,000 sale because you're not willing to. Dude, Rockler is. I don't want to get into like how I feel about like I'm just not a fan anymore. The first year I was in business, I spent like 40 grand with them, and there was no love. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
I'm going in there.
Do you feel that a 10 by 10 pop-up tent properly contains your wares and is enough space, or do you wish that you could go bigger?
Say it again.
Do you feel like a 10 by 10 pop-up, which is sort of craft fair standard, is sufficient to display all the things that you want to bring with you, or do you think that bigger is better?
So it's kind of weird, man. So that 10 by 10 works perfect to fit a 6-foot table in the back, flanked by 2 4-foot tables, and then 2 6-foot tables. It works out perfect. And then I have uprights in the front that I'm sure you guys saw. Those are my attention. I put those out front. They work really, really well. I'd say there's certain times where I wish I had more space, and there's certain times like I'm doing Frankfurt Fest this year, and I got 2 10 by 10 spaces, so I'm going to have a 20 by 10 set up. It's going to be huge. But I've done it before for Firefly, which is another huge market in our area. Like one of the highest grossing markets I've ever done is Firefly to date. It's insane. Like you go there and you come back really light, if you know what I mean. And it's that Frankfurt Fest, I've heard people, woodworkers going there and selling 30 grand of woodwork in 3 days. So,
wow.
I mean, we'll see. I mean, I'm up for a challenge.
No, right on.
So on the
what do you guys got?
10, absolutely, dude. It can be tough, man. You got to get it down to a science, and a lot of it's layering and figuring out. I do a lot of prep work when I do the shows, dude. I'll go recon the place where I'm going, see the spot, see the space, kind of look and get a feel for the clientele that are in the brewery that day. I'm telling you, man, it's all about reconning where you go and figuring it out. If you don't know what you're setting up, like I have so many different setups. I have one at a brewery this weekend called Bubble House, and I've got like basically 12 foot of a wall. I've got to do a special setup for it. I'm gonna make it work. Do I wish I had more space? Yes. But do I have to work with what I'm given? Yes.
Still very cool.
So obviously you do a ton of shows and you've got it down to a science. Describe your first booth.
My first booth?
Your first booth. Like first show going into it.
That was that Christmas market, dude. I basically had cheese boards, face grain cutting boards, and coasters, and some coin racks. Very minimal stuff. Very, very, very early on in like me doing a lot of. I mean, I made cutting boards in the past and all that, but I'm saying like very, very early on and very. I look at the stuff I made then and the stuff I make now, and it's night and day. You know, I'm saying this stuff to ungodly amounts now. You know what I mean? Just because I have no concept of like stopping anymore. So, yeah. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was just going to say. So you're telling me that sanding over 400 is something that you now actively pursue?
Sometimes. Usually, it's 400 is about as high as I go. 500 sometimes if I want to burnish. Because especially when you start working with Koa, Coco Bolo, Milo, woods like that, it definitely does. When you start burnishing the wood, it brings out figure around the figure. And especially when you're doing like live edge stuff, gets really wicked. I have a excellent place to get my live edge wood from locally here. If you guys, I don't know if any of you guys are in Illinois.
I'm St. Louis, so yeah, I'm up there all the time. My brother lives up there.
Bro, there is a place in West Chicago called Raw Heartwood. Look this guy up. A guy's name's Garrett, good friend of mine. Dude, Koa, Milo, Eucalyptus, freaking Queensland Maple, Kiabe. like 30 different species of wood he just got imported from Hawaii. Holy Nikes. I'm telling you, dude, you should see the 4A Koa coffee table I got in my house. Dude, the entire thing is tiger striped. It's the prettiest piece of Koa you've ever seen in your life. It's I think I have it posted somewhere on there, but it's like completely across the entire 15, 16 inch wide piece of wood. It's just like curl. Like this wood Milo, I'm sure you guys saw a lot of that. It is it's like Pacific Island rosewood.
Mm.
And if you ever come by out here, I'll take you to my guy. I got a place where you can get red Nara, which is one of the coolest woods on the planet.
Mm.
It's a Filipino hardwood, and it is fire, bro.
Yeah,
What's it
looks
called?
like I'm gonna have to go see little brother here pretty soon. Come up and
I got a couple hookups for wood too, man. I got a guy down in Joliet too for all my domestic stuff. So I've got three or four basic places I go to get my wood. I'm sure you guys are gonna ask this question, so I'll just answer it for you. So my Hawaiian stuff, my live edge stuff, I go to Raw Heartwood in West Chicago. My domestic hardwoods, I got a guy down in Joliet, El Surgis Woodwork, really awesome dude. He's got a mill down there. We're talking walnut for $8 a board foot. We're talking cherry for $4 a board foot, maple for like $5.50, like really good prices and just awesome, dude. Hell, I got to hook up as long as it's 24-inch shorts of veneer grade walnut for $8 a board foot. My red Nara guys down in Dwight, Illinois, and then pretty much if I'm getting anything that's going to be exotics, dude, I just order from woodpeckers, man. Let them select it, and they have a deal going. As a matter of fact, if you guys don't know about this, the 23rd, everything on woodpeckers is going like 50% off. I got those scooped from one of the employees there. So yeah,
Okay.
the 23rd, you might want to go look.
Hot off the
don't mind me.
press.
I'm just curiously scribbling over here. We got important notes taking place on this bulb link. So
Don't turn that before you check those websites out.
yeah, no, speaking of the woodcraft, the woodcraft here in town suggested that I do a demonstration for the Woodworkers Guild, and so I've been sort of prepping to turn a bowl for the Woodworkers Guild in St. Louis today. So I gotta round this out and not drop everything on the floor. But yeah, we're gonna make some cute little bowls live. It'll be fun.
Oh, awesome, dude. A good way to get a little PR with them, huh?
Yeah, it should be kind of fun. But yeah, I got bit by the craft show bug last autumn. I felt like I absolutely just crushed the weekend. I mean, I did really well. Sold probably 16 or 17 bowls, which is what I brought for the most part. But I kind of noticed, and the show is a bigger show, right? It's not like 12 vendors that you might see at like a brewery show or something. But there were a lot of people balking at prices over like $60 to $80, but then you'd see them walking out to their car with like 5 pieces that were probably $50 a piece. And
hey, trust me, you're going to hear that from people. They don't understand what the stuff costs to make. They also, when you start showing them what like booze cutting boards cost, remember booze?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as you show them a 12 by 18 board, $375, and it's just walnut, and they're like, holy crap, like simple stuff like that. And you have to understand that custom, and explain to them, dude, this is custom and handmade. Custom and handmade does not equal cheaper than mass-produced shenanigans you're going to buy from China.
Mm-hmm.
It's explaining your craft and what you do. And like, I love like, I can do that in my garage. I'm like, not unless you go spend about $4,000 or $5,000 on a drum sander, you ain't doing it. Unless you don't like your forearms or your free time. Like, I don't care, man. I'll tell them straight up. I'll go, this is what it cost me to make. I go, my shop rate on pre-made items $60 an hour. On custom is $100 an hour. And I tell them all the time, you'd pay somebody to come fix your toilet $100 an hour, and it takes no skill to change those little, the little bob and that, and you pay him $100 an hour. But me, who spent, probably upwards of $100,000 in woodworking equipment, you're gonna balk at $100 an hour? Like, okay, keep on keeping on.
Yep.
I got people I need to talk to, and
Yeah, no, in the back of my mind, I keep reminding myself that there's always like, you can always say to yourself, okay, well, I'll just sell it to the next person that walks in.
Oh, dude, you got to have that mindset. Dude, as soon as like, okay, sorry, we can't come to an accord. Or I'll tell them all the time, like, go ahead, go check out the other woodworker stuff, and I'll see you in a half hour.
Yeah.
I'll tell them straight up, man, I don't care. Like,
well, I mean, there's a lot of value in just knowing your customer and knowing, you know, where your price points are. And I mean, it's fine. You know, you don't necessarily have to hit every single price point for every single customer.
I always love we don't have a lot of people coming to these markets or whatever. I'm like, dude, all I need is 3 of the right people. Give me three. I don't care if you send me 100 people or 10. You send me 3 people that are the right people, I'm good. You know, the 10 of the right people, or 3 of the right people, depending on what I'm selling that day. Like, I always look at it like this: is like as soon as you start looking and going, hey, my time isn't worth anything, you've lost. You know what I mean? I don't know, man. We do real well, and I guess this is the attitude I have about it. And I look at it like, I'm here to provide a service to you from a dying art that, you know, look at all these kids, man, these days. None of these kids want to learn how to do any of this. Dude, I've got a 14-year-old son. It is painful to get him in the shop. And, dude, I'm telling you, I got a nice shop. And I would love to get him out here. And even he wants to work on cars someday. Even explain to him, dude, learning to properly do a screw or properly turn a bolt or properly turn a wrench even on wood is going to save you a lot in the future from jobs that can be 30 minutes or 5 hours when you break off that screw or that nut, you know, and just, I don't know, man.
No,
I'd really appreciate it.
I read a survey, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago, and I think it's mentioned in a book called Shop Class's Soulcraft, for those of you who like to read, or I don't know if it's available in audiobook. But they said that, like, in a classroom of, I think it was like 3rd or 4th or maybe even 6th graders, that like less than 50% of them could identify a Phillips or a flathead screwdriver. Like, and that was 10 years ago. That was before TikTok. So, like,
and I'll tell somebody real quick too, and this is something else for you guys when you're doing these shows. Deals don't start until you start spending $400 or $500. I don't talk about discounts until you start spending $400 or $500 with me. Like, yeah, I'm sorry, man. Like, dude, if you want money off on like a small $30, it ain't happening. You buy two end grain cutting boards that are $400 or $500. I'll give you 15% off. You're like, hell. Like, whatever. Hell, you want some beeswax mineral? I got you. You know what I mean? Here, you want a microfiber cloth? Here, have 2. You know what I mean? But unless we're talking about, you know, spending a larger sum of money, I'm not talking about any deals.
I gotcha. Sorry, I've been cutting you guys off down there. Kamani, what are you thinking, bud?
Oh, I was thinking, I was like, oh, I can't see any questions or the comments. My bottom half of my thing is frozen. So, you know, so if we're getting to the point where we're asking questions or letting the audience ask, you guys will have to handle that for me.
Oh, I got you covered, bud. And for those of you in the audience that want to ask questions of the guest, there's a little, sorry, I can't reach it from up in the top left, but there's a little question button down there, and you can click it in and you can ask Drew any of the questions that you could possibly want. Then whether it's about woodworking or RoboCop, which will inevitably get discussed, you know, down there's a good place to put them.
RoboCop?
Yeah, I mean, like, on a scale from 1 to Citizen Kane, where do you think RoboCop sits?
These lathe guys.
I don't understand the question.
Have you seen RoboCop?
Yes.
Was it awesome?
The one like 10 years ago?
I mean, like, maybe it's much longer than that. It's like 1987.
Well, there's another one that just came out with that guy who was an Altered Carbon, too.
Yeah.
God,
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
No, the one before that, the original.
New RoboCop is okay.
Begins in the early 2000s. It was just out of it. like cable. But anyway, I'm super dork. But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't understand what the question was again. Where do we go with this? That isn't.
Would you say that RoboCop is one of the greatest movies ever made?
Absolutely not.
Fair enough. We can still be friends. Your answer is incorrect, but we're still cool.
I think it's a great movie, absolutely, but I don't think it's, dude. There's so many better. Dude, I'm a huge Big Lebowski fan.
Okay. Okay.
Hey, did you see Lebowski is getting released in the Marcus Cinemas in the Midwest again here pretty soon?
Wait, because I want to see the rug tie the room together.
Yeah. And then do they do a Lebowski Fest in Chicago?
Dude, I don't like. So I was a cop downtown for like several years. You can't drag me downtown kicking and screaming, man. I don't want to. Like, dude, I'm like, nah. I just want to go sit in my garage and cut up wood and make pretty stuff. Like,
Gotcha.
The dude abides. The dude abides.
I just don't want to go to Chicago.
Have you and the 14-year-old boy ever popped over to Galloping Ghost Arcade? It's not too far from Bolingbrook.
I did the one that's in downtown Bolingbrook. Well, at the Promenade. I forget what it's called. That was a lot of fun. They had that there. I think it's, God, what's it called? I forget, but that was fun. It was all old school games too, man. I'm not a big gamer, but I enjoy playing some of that old stuff we used to play with Tilt back in the day. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy that every once in a while, but yeah, I mean, I don't drink anymore, so it's just like a lot of those like drinking arcades. I'm like I just don't want to. Sobriety has been very good to me, so
Very nice.
I'm
Very cool.
an old fuddy-duddy now.
That's how they get you, man. Yeah. But you do get a lot better at waking up at like 500 if you're not drinking all night.
Dude, honestly, man, I don't usually go out the shop till about 8 in the morning, man.
Yeah, that's 3 hours of coffee drinking.
Oh, dude, I'll tell you what, when you guys come to Chicago, I'll treat you to a cup of, we'll come to the area. I'll treat you to a cup of Gigawatt, dude. Best cup of coffee you'll ever have. You can
Okay.
on mine, good friend of mine has a coffee company out here. I actually just started working with him to help him fix his barrels so he can age his beans in them.
Very cool.
I got some Cooper's tools, so, you know.
Very nice.
That's right. Braden, what's on your mind down there?
I know he's thinking about CNC and crap.
I'm gonna be honest. I just keep looking at Kamani and that big old Powermatic filter behind him, and I saw his story where he was unboxing like every single brand in the space the last couple days. So,
you know what's funny? My Powermatic dust collector. I'll make you laugh. I got a Delta one on it.
Aren't there laws against it?
I don't know, man. I was like, hey, I couldn't find one. It's an older Powermatic, like old Powermatic, and like I had to like make a melamine fitting to fit it. Dude,
to fit in those, yeah.
Yeah, it was a nightmare.
Yeah, I got really fortunate that there is a surplus store around the corner from my office, and so I found them they had like a hidden Craigslist posting and for like tools. So and I found it one day, and that's how I found my current table saw. But I used to go just hang out. Huh? I have a Laguna F2.
What do you think of that, man? My neighbor's got one, and one of my good friends, and they like it.
It's a great saw. I'm just upgrading to something with a little bit more power. And Braden has one as well. So it's a 1 3/4 horsepower. This one is, and like I said, I've never had it bogged down on me.
Dude, jump to 3 horses where it's at, bro. I'm telling you.
Yeah. That's outside of the when it's not doing backflips. The one I'm getting next is it's gonna have it's 3 horsepower, and it's gonna be a 52 rip instead of 36.
I really think, like, I bought the 52. I got a 3 horsepower ICS saw stop.
Mm-hmm.
I really like it. I just feel like I never use that 52-inch rip, man. Even with sheet goods, you only need like 36.
Yeah. when the price difference between them wasn't great enough to throw me off, and I want the I'm gonna have the router wing insert in it.
Oh, okay,
So,
I got you. I
yeah.
got mine separate. I'll tell you what, man. If you're looking for a awesome router motor, that new Woodpeckers one's pretty killer.
Oh, I don't have Woodpecker's cash yet, but I did get it. I got a Jessam.
Oh, the
I just
Woodpeckers
paid
one was only like $3
so.
for the motor.
Yeah, but I think the Jessam. Okay, well, I can look. It's still in the box, so I haven't taken it out of the box. I'll
It's
check.
only $3, man, and it's pretty killer, dude. I'm telling you. It's
Well,
not the one with the two. What do you call it? The two dust ports on it. It's the one before that, and they're like only. I think they're like $290 right now, because I think they're prepping to get that one that has the dust ports on it, like inside the router. It's the
Yeah, that was like $500 or $600 with the
yeah. No,
two.
I don't have money for that right now either.
Yeah. I saw somebody, in one of our chat groups, somebody posted that up, and I'm like, yeah. And then I saw the price. I was like, no.
The one that, if you go on their website though, they have like a really nice router, and I'm telling you, it's pretty killer, dude. It's only $300.
So yeah, I got the Bosch router because everybody around me was like, yeah, I have it's never done me wrong. So
I have a couple of them, man. I got one that's toast.
Oh. So, well, for the price, it wasn't bad. I think I got it for like one and some change, like 150 or something like that on Amazon. So I got a good deal on it. So I was like, yeah, if it croaks on me in a couple of years, not
Get me
hurt.
wrong. I'll tell you what. Once you've actually used the Festool routers though, and you try their dust collection, you'll never turn back. I can literally cut a juice groove on a board with no mess on my floor.
Yeah, it's simple.
The first time I did it, I was like, "Where's the sawdust? What's going on? What is this voodoo?"
So yeah, my next Festool purchase currently is going to be a domino. I have like two bench builds for my wife, and so
I bought the big one, and you're gonna laugh what I use my big one primarily for.
Hold on, let me see if I can. Does it have to do with your cutting boards? No. Okay. What do you do it?
So do you know what a dugout is?
Dugouts. That was my next guess.
Oh.
So I use the domino to drill the dugouts.
So I haven't seen it. So what's the dugout?
So, dude, I can even that better. I got a guy I'm getting my brass bats from locally that are two-piece that screw in half and are awesome. And the population out here loves them. A dugout is used for marijuana.
Okay, there we go.
So
It's a pocketable apparatus with a hole that you put loose into, and typically another hole for your paraphernalia.
So I use my domino to make my dugouts.
That's awesome.
And
green for the green.
It covers the depth just fine. Like I don't know how deep a domino can go.
DF 500 goes like an inch and some change. The DF 700, which is the big domino, goes almost 3 inches. So I bought the big domino. I have the big domino, and for a dugout, you need like 2.5 to 2.75 for the dugout, and I use the big domino for my dugouts. And what's crazy is a little 2x4 inch box sells for $40.
And then you put a brass pin in it so that the lid can spin around.
Oh, dude, I just screw it, baby. Just put a screw in it. But you got to do the ones with the round tops where it's not threaded the whole way, and it works just fine. I do the square head screw, looks nice. I don't really put them online just because I don't want to be associated with it, but I like selling them, and it's completely legal, so screw it. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, you just tell people that that's where they should keep their moon sand so they can play with it later, right?
Marijuana is illegal in the state of Illinois, decriminalized.
Yeah, no, you guys are recreational now.
Oh, yeah. You go down the street and go buy it. Not that I do that. I don't got time. I'm dead serious, man. I ain't got time for that shit.
Yeah.
I wish, man. Maybe when I retire.
Sounds like a good market for Seattle because it is everywhere over here.
Oh, I'm sure, man. Oh, you're in Seattle, man. I did a month out in Portland a couple years ago. Ew.
So I'm in Tacoma. Tacoma is nice. I have to go. My day job takes me to Seattle, so I'm not a fan of that. But yeah, my every day I'm down here. It's fine.
was a beautiful country. Just
So,
I can deal without the shenanigans downtown.
yeah. Well, yeah. Well, like I said, that's all up north. I'm here where it's nice and quiet.
People just need hugs, man. I'm telling you. That's for
Much more hugs. There's a question from the audience that I feel like could incite a whole conversation from you, which is, why don't you have a CNC? Asks Veteran Zone Woodworks.
Oh, I knew he was going to ask that.
Of course he would. That's why I picked it.
He already told me he was going to ask it, and I'm going to tell him why. Because I am a man, and I don't use machines to do my work.
Technically, you do.
We just
Well, I
we just
operate
heard
that
about
machine.
your,
I don't push button and let it do it for me. All
we
joking
just heard about
aside,
your domino,
nah,
so.
man. So here, I'm going to tell you what I tell everybody, and this is the reason why. I am set up to the position where I can build my product by myself and get pure joy in making it. I understand why some people, when they get large enough, get a CNC so that they can keep up, so they don't have to hire another person. I am not to a point where I need that. And I get pure joy out of woodwork. Like, it makes me happy. Like, I carried a gun for a long time, and I don't have to do that anymore. Now I get to play in my shop, and I get to create things and make art and just make beautiful stuff and make people happy. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So,
dude, if you're operating a lathe, I totally get it, man. Wood turning is the most fun you can have with your pants on, like straight up.
here, I'll make you laugh. There's my, where to go? There's my lathe over there. Yeah, there it is.
Perfect.
Old Delta Reeves Drive.
Great.
And there, like I said, slight handful of
Sick hand plane collection over
right.
there.
Right?
There's
Those Lee Nissan handles. Woo!
Oh, there's all the Nissan stuff. Yeah.
So did you hear about Lee Nielsen struggling to find the hornbeam wood that they use for their handles?
So
And that, like, that's been...
Oh, dude, I already know what they're replacing it with.
So
Apple.
you're in there. Okay.
So I talked to the guy a couple weeks ago, and I've got a guy on eBay that I get my so all my Lee Nielsen stuff all has Coco Bolo handles. My saws, my planes, my chisels, even I have paring chisels, which go like this. Here. Look how pretty that is.
Ooh.
Oh, that's stupid pretty.
Coca-Cola.
So I'm a huge Coco Bolo nut. Like, it's probably my favorite hardwood on the planet. Like, I got a slight addiction to this stuff. Anyway, so the reason I said it is I talked to him, and I heard the hornbeam was going to be shortage, but he had told me, he's like, we're starting to use apple again. They've got a sustainable source where they're going to start using a lot more apple wood. And he sent me some photos of the stuff he's got, and it is pretty. I've seen prettier apple, to be quite honest, but it was still decent apple.
But it's not hornbeam. Hornbeam is American ironwood, man. Like, that stuff is super tough.
I got a ton of it, man. I don't really use it.
I turn it occasionally because we have it in Missouri. So
I'll tell you what, man. I got a ton of these blanks. I'll send me your address later. I'm gonna send you something. I got a ton of African blackwood left that I got from a bagpipe maker about 2 years ago. He gave me about 160 blocks that were like 2 inch by 2 inch by 5 inch. Just gave it to me. I'm like, okay.
wow.
Yeah, dude. I bought an air cleaner off him. He was moving, and he gave me a bunch of like random stuff. I got a ton of blackwood crap too, man.
I'm road tripping.
I think
Brothers up in Highland Park on the north side of town. So yeah, I got to pass you to get to them.
Yeah, I know where Highland Park's at.
It's fancy.
Yeah.
It's fancy up there. Very, very cool. All right. Well, we've got 10:49. I'm going to dig into the question pile for another one. This one's actually from my wife, which is, what is your favorite local wood to work with? And also Lou Malnati's or Portillo's?
Illuminati's is trash. It's horrible.
Fair enough.
It's horrible. tastes like somebody put ketchup on meat and put it on bread, in my opinion. I actually like, there's a place called Freedom Brothers. It's oven fire pizza. It's really good, right 5 minutes from my house. And then there's another place called Vita Bella, and it's fantastic thin crust pizza. And then I got to give a shout out to my dude Caligaros, who's making Sicilian style pizza in an oven, and former FBI agent said F the noise and now makes pizza. I'm tell you what, friggin' fire pizza. And then Portillo's, here's my problem with Portillo's, man. When Dick sold the business about 10 years ago, the quality of Portillo's, in my opinion, went down significantly, but it's still good. It's just not what it used to be. When you can taste the difference. If you've had it years ago and you have it now, even when I was living in Southern California, the Portillo's out there tasted better than what it is here.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's not as good as it used to be. I mean, there's so many better mom and pop places to go, like freaking Lefties and stuff like that.
Yeah, but
So,
like they don't have drive-throughs where you can get a chocolate cake shake and
you know
diabetes.
how they keep that chocolate cake so fluffy?
Mayonnaise?
Bro, I hate mayonnaise. I would rather get tased again, like, and take a 30-second ride than ever eat mayonnaise again.
Somebody call a Dunlap.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I want you to meet Daniel Dunlap.
Bro, I'm telling you, I hate mayonnaise. Like, it was in my wedding vows that I hate. I'm not even playing.
Oh. Bacon was in my wedding vows.
You know what, bacon?
I promised my wife that we would share the last piece of bacon with each
You know what? That is the sweetest thing I've
That's
ever
love.
heard. I'm telling you what.
So,
All right, what other questions you guys got?
All right.
Here's one
Let's
from
see here. You guys want to pick one?
Yeah, here's one. I like this one from Back Road Reclamation. How do you think we can inspire local woodworkers to charge what they're worth instead of trying to compete with big box stores and Facebook Marketplace?
So here's my thought process on this. And I tell woodworkers when I see it shows all the time. Dude, there's a perceived value when you underprice things. And they get kind of baffled by it too, because I've had it happen many times where they'll be cheaper than me, but I'll sell more than them. And I tell them perceived value. I go, you underpricing it, it's hurting you more than it's hurting me. I go, it's hurting me, but it's hurting you even more. I go, because a lot of times when they see a cutting board for that, they know damn well should be $250, and they see $100 on it, they're like, why is that $100? And then his is $250. Why? What's wrong with this? So there's that. In addition to, like, somebody needs to talk to these kids and make them realize that value is value. And dude, if you're going to charge nothing for something, go do it somewhere else. Flat out. You know what I mean? Because a lot of us are out here trying to make this into a living. And if you're charging nothing for something that you know darn well took you, like, I see people doing it. They'll spend 10 hours making a table and they'll charge $200 for the table. I'm like, what are you doing? I'm like, that's a $1,500 table all day long. Like, you're, I don't know, man.
so, I found one. My questions work now.
Right.
What tool in your shop gets the most use?
You can't say you.
Damn it, tool. Honestly, man, like, it's a toss up between my table saw and my drill press. I mean, dude, my drill press gets used a lot, man. I'm telling you, like, and I got an old beast nasty. Dude, this thing beast nasty. 1978 Powermatic.
Oh wow.
Dude.
Oh yeah.
Dude,
Still green. Awesome.
I lugged that sucker out of a basement on the north side of Chicago with an 80-year-old dude named Herbie. And I'll tell you what, about died getting it in my truck, but God bless I got it in there.
That's awesome, man.
That thing gets used a lot. And then my table saw, of course. And I love Sawdust. And I'm a firm, like, believer. Please, if you're a woodworker, buy a Sawdust. And it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. I'm telling you, you do enough time behind a table saw, you're gonna get got. It may not happen now, it may not happen later, but it's gonna happen someday. I'm telling you. I got hit about a year ago with some kickback from it, and that's the other thing too. The riving knives and the saw stop were awesome, and almost killed me. So that's all I got to say about that.
Oh, here's another good one that I think will probably close us out too, because I like this question.
Safety is paramount. Anyway.
Safety is paramount. Racing Custom Signs wants to know, is the product just as important as the sales skill? And I'm going to pile on to that. Do you, I don't want to say catcall, but it's the least number of syllables to beckon people into your booth when you're at larger shows?
So I don't catcall. That's one of the reasons why I have the displays out front. That is my cat caller. So if you ever see, like, on my Insta and Facebook, see the booths, you'll see that there's like products set up on booths out front that are they're not the greatest stands, but they work and they travel okay, and they've been rebuilt and Frankenstanded like 27 times. And and then to answer Jeff from Racing Custom Signs, who I've known for a while, he actually helped to sell my truck that I currently have to me. Yes, salesmanship is just as important as the product. When you talk to people, a lot of times too, especially at these shows, you're selling to a higher end customer. You're selling to somebody who wants to know who they're buying from, has more disposable income, and wants to know who made the product they're using, and wants to know how it was done, and know it was done right, and is sick of buying the same product over and over again for it to break from another foreign country, to be quite honest. And wants to know that it was done right and was made American. For me too, a lot of people know that I'm a veteran and they love buying off a vet. So
I like that. Yeah. Now my thing has always been like, the reason why I liked craft shows so much was they are full of people looking to buy the stuff that you're there to sell, right? Whereas if you're online or you're on Marketplace or you're on Craigslist or whatever, you've got weird
that's the other thing
looking for deals.
if you guys do not do flea markets. If anything is called a flea market, stay away from it. You will just leave angry.
Sure.
You want to talk
again, these are
about a place where people don't value your time, it's there. I won't, if anything, if I smell flea market, if I go there and I smell flea market, I don't set up, I leave. I don't care if I paid for it or not. I'm telling you, like, it is not worth the aggravation.
duly noted.
Like, when you guys, like, you know, when you spend 4 or 5 hours on an ingrain board and somebody will, like, looks at it and sees $250 on it and then offers you $50, like, it's exactly, bro. I'm telling you what. Like, all you're going to do is get upset.
Flea markets are the Facebook marketplace of the real world.
Oh, dude, I'm telling you what, man. It is just that's why I love doing the breweries and the higher end craft shows and the farmers market. People go there because they know it's not going to be the cheapest. They know it's going to be done right. You know what I mean? And they know darn well if your booth's full, there's a reason it's full.
Yeah, I've never done a show. I generally don't make my projects are generally one-off customs, but they're, after being to a couple of these crafty places, I've been into a couple of maker meetups at like specialized breweries and stuff like that. I know, like, the people who go there, they're looking for something specific. They're not looking for a cheap beer. They're looking for like something that's like.
Oh yeah, you think people go to craft beers because they know they're getting 75-cent, natural lights?
Right. Yeah, right. So.
Right. Yeah, like, if you're willing to pay $8 for a beer, you're damn well going to be willing to pay, $200 for a cutting board.
Yeah. So, I've been lucky enough to make contacts with people who in the area who are definitely like they make custom things, and so they appreciate and they understand custom made gifts or items. So I picked up some wood today. It was just, at my friend's shop, and I was just like, you know what? I know exactly who this is for, and she hasn't even seen it yet. So I'm gonna like send her a picture and be like, I found this, and she'd be like, make whatever it is, just make it, because she knows, and that's that she appreciates that. So, and she makes me cookies, so it helps.
Everybody likes cookies.
I know, right?
Yeah, you can't go wrong.
Be my wife.
Okay,
Cheesecake brownie.
the time is now
Cheesecake. There we go.
11 o'clock, boys and girls, or 11 o'clock Central. And that means that we have to wrap this show up. And so, Drew, I am going to ask you to give us a piece of advice or some motivation to stop staring at our screens, get into our shop, kick the door open, go make something. Tell us how to get awesome.
I'm going to tell you one of the most, and this is going to be another one of those things where I'm huge on safety in the shop too. And one of the things I tell everybody, remember this, at the end of the day, a clean shop is a safe shop. Once you finish in that shop, make sure you clean it. A dirty shop is how you get hurt. I'm telling you, that's how you slip, that's how you fall. But at the end of the day, beyond that too, going out there and making beautiful stuff that 90% of Americans can't do is a pretty good feeling. That and, you know, making stuff for the woman whose husband will make it for him in 6 months.
Ooh, feel attacked. Feel attacked. That bench is coming. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man, it's coming.
I just needed the legs. The legs just showed up.
Oh, you should see what I just made for my wife. She told me the day before.
No.
All right, boys and girls. Well, it was lovely having you on, Drew. We will see all of our viewers next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. I wish you all a lovely evening. Drew,
Hey,
thank you again.
Come on, you let me bump my gums for a bit. I didn't realize I was going to be talking the whole time.
Dude, it's a hoot,
This is
man.
all about you, man. This episode is all about you. So we appreciate it, especially all the knowledge you dropped. I'm gonna check out those forest blades for my Capex.
Yeah,
And
they're really nice. Here, I'll show it to you real quick, man. I know I still got you on, man, but it's this one right here.
there we go, 90 teeth. I'm with it.
Signature
I'm
line
telling
Shopmaster.
you, man, it's a game changer. Absolutely zero chip out. I mean, don't get me wrong. This zero tolerance helps with that, but this definitely makes sure you get like no chip out, no crustiness. And
Nice.
it's
Love it.
like when you like a lot of times I'll clean up an edge on it, and I'll get a butter smooth edge just with that. I won't even have to sand it.
That's what I like to hear.
All right, cool kids. I gotta end the chat, or Instagram's gonna boot us, and we're all gonna have our faces frozen, looking real dumb. Like, so.
All right, man, I'll talk to you guys later.
I'll catch you
Thank
later.
guys.
All right,
See ya.
you guys are ready.
Thank you.